Alright adventurers, what makes Baldur's Gate 3 worth every single gold piece in your pouch? Welcome to Game Review today, where we serve raw gameplay, unfiltered takes, and wit sharp enough to cut through a beholder's eye stalks. Today we're diving into Baldur's Gate 3's epic Final Patch 8, a colossal send-off from Larian Studios that's more lifestyle than CRPG. This patch is so massive it could suplex a mind flayer, and we're breaking it down with nerdy hype and chaotic vibes. Buckle up, roll for initiative, and let's dive in. If you love this, smash that like button and subscribe for more daily gaming goodness. Patch 8 Overview, a grand finale for Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is officially wrapping up its post-launch saga. After 8 major patches, Larian's calling it a day on big updates, though they've promised to swoop in with the occasional bug fix to keep the game from turning your party into a pile of polygons. But don't cry into your ale just yet. Patch 8 is the kind of send-off that deserves a standing ovation. We're talking 12 brand new subclasses, crossplay for all platforms, a photo mode that'll have you directing your party like it's a Hollywood blockbuster, and a patch notes document so long it makes the Silmarillion look like a post-it note. Clocking in at over 16,000 words, these notes are basically a fantasy novella. I tried skimming them, but my brain rolled a critical fail and begged for mercy. This patch is the cherry on top of a game that's been evolving since it left early access in 2023, turning an already stellar RPG into something that feels like it was forged by the gods of Faerun. New subclasses, shiny toys to restart your campaign. Let's dive into the subclasses, because these are the shiny new toys that'll have you restarting your campaign faster than you can say re-roll. Each of the game's major classes gets a new subclass, and they're not just palette swaps or minor stat tweaks. Depending on the class, some are available at level 1, others unlock at level 2 or 3, and they range from "that's cool" to "did Larian just rewrite the rulebook?" Take the Swarmkeeper Ranger. You're basically a bee whisperer, commanding a swarm of angry insects to dive bomb enemies like they owe you money. Then there's the Way of the Drunken Master Monk, which turns you into a boozy brawler whose combat prowess spikes with every tankard of ale. Oh, and you can make enemies drunk too, leaving them staggering like they just lost a drinking contest with a dwarf. The Hexblade Warlock? Pure nightmare fuel. You're slinging curses and summoning spirits from dead enemies to fight for you, like you're running a ghostly temp agency. Even the less flashy ones, like the Oath of the Crown Paladin, come with full dialogue options, including spicy exchanges with the Oathbreaker Paladin if you decide to go full anti-hero. These subclasses aren't just new mechanics, they're invitations to play the game in wildly different ways, with synergies and strategies that'll have you scribbling build notes at 2 a.m. Larian's Balance Philosophy. If it's cool, it's in. Here's the kicker. Larian doesn't care about balance any more than a goblin cares about hygiene. Their approach seems to be, if it sounds dope, it's in. Some of these subclasses are straight up overpowered, and I'm living for it. The Hexblade, for instance, feels like it wandered in from a higher level campaign, and the Path of the Giant Barbarian lets you grow so big you could step on a dragon and call it a Tuesday. This isn't a competitive MMO. Nobody's getting banned for picking the broken class. It's a single-player co-op game, and Larian's goal is to make every subclass feel unique and exciting, not to ensure they all play nice in a spreadsheet. Sure, they'll patch out anything that crashes the game harder than a fireball in a tavern, but for the most part, they're throwing caution to the wind and letting us run wild. And the fact that this is all free? That's like finding a +5 Vorpal sword in a random loot chest. Larian could have slapped a price tag on this and we'd have emptied our wallets, but instead they're out here playing philanthropist in Baldur's Gate. Photo mode. Direct your party like a Hollywood star. Now, let's talk about the photo mode, because this isn't just a feature, it's a lifestyle. If you've ever wanted to pose your party like they're on the cover of Vogue Forgotten Realms edition, this is your moment. This photo mode is so robust it could probably direct a movie. You can adjust camera angles, tweak lighting, pose each character individually, and mess with facial expressions to make your paladin look stoic, your rogue look sneaky, or your wizard look like they just smelled something funky. The options are endless, and the fandom's already churning out screenshots that range from epic to unhinged. Want to recreate the Avengers Endgame pose with your D&D crew? Go for it! Want to make your barbarian flex while your bard photobombs with a loot? Live your truth. Fair warning, sometimes the poses get a bit uncanny, like your characters are auditioning for a low-budget zombie flick. But that's just part of the charm. The hardcore fans are going to lose their minds, and I fully expect to see someone's Tav starring in a viral meme by next week. Crossplay and Xbox Series S. Support co-op for all. Crossplay's another big win, finally letting PC, Xbox, and PlayStation players team up for some co-op shenanigans. You'll need to sign into a Larian account, which is about as seamless as convincing a dragon to share its gold, but it's better than nothing. For Xbox Series S players, the news gets even better. Split-screen co-op is now supported. I haven't tested it myself. My gaming rig's a PC, and I'm not fancy enough to own every console. But the fact that Larian got this working after all this time is like watching a wizard pull a flaming rabbit out of a hat. Performance on Series S? No clue, but if you're playing it, drop a comment and let us know if it's smooth or if you're dodging frame rate goblins. Speaking of performance, Patch 8 is stuffed with bug fixes, gameplay tweaks, stability improvements, and optimization passes. The game's running smoother than a greased owlbear, especially in the chaotic sprawl of Baldur's Gate proper, where every NPC seems to have their own side quest and a bad attitude. Minthara fix. From exploit to official feature. One standout fix: Minthara's recruitment. Back in the day, knocking her out to recruit her later felt like a weird exploit, like you were cheating the system. Now, it's an official part of the game, complete with new dialogue that makes her feel less like a tacked-on NPC and more like a proper companion. She's still not as fleshed out as the Origin characters. Non-Origin companions in general feel like they were added in a hurry, but it's a step in the right direction. Larian's clearly been listening to the community, and these little touches show they care about the details, even if they're not rewriting the entire campaign. Mod Manager upgrades, fueling community creativity. The in-game Mod Manager, introduced in Patch 7 and upgraded in Patch 8, is another game changer. Downloading and managing mods is now easier than convincing Shadowheart to trust you, and the new partial level editing lets modders remix existing maps by adding new NPCs, enemies, and objects. It's not quite Neverwinter Nights level custom campaign territory, but it's a big step closer. The community's already doing incredible things, from tweaking gameplay to building whole new adventures. With Larian likely taking a break from the Forgotten Realms, rumor has it they're cooking up something new, but don't ask me for spoilers, the modding scene might be our best shot at fresh stories. If some genius out there manages to craft a full-blown custom campaign, I'll personally send them a virtual potion of healing. Small tweaks, big impact, a polished experience. Beyond the headliners, Patch 8 is packed with smaller tweaks that add up to a better experience. The UI's cleaner, the early game feels fairer, or maybe I'm just less clueless about D&D mechanics now, and performance is rock solid, even in busy areas like Baldur's Gate's lower city. Previous patches added goodies like full evil endings, more Dark Urge interactions for those chaotic playthroughs, and a slew of quality of life fixes, from better quest resolutions to less confusing dialogue options. It's not a full expansion, but the cumulative effect of all these updates is massive. If you played at launch, you might not notice every change, but jumping back in now feels like slipping into a freshly polished suit of +3 plate armor. Why Baldur's Gate 3 stays addictive. So why does Baldur's Gate 3 still have us in a chokehold? Because it's a hardcore RPG that didn't compromise. Larian took a gamble making a turn-based CRPG with AAA production values, banking on a genre that was considered niche at best. They could have played it safe, but instead, they went all in, and it paid off like a dragon's horde. The graphics, free camera, and top-tier character models drew in casual players who might have skipped a more traditional CRPG. The dense, choice-driven gameplay kept the D&D diehards hooked. This is a game where you can talk your way out of a fight, yeet a boss off a cliff, or accidentally doom your party because you picked the wrong dialogue option. The consequences are real, which can lead to analysis paralysis. Trust me, I've spent hours agonizing over whether to side with a shady NPC or not. But when it clicks, it's like mainlining pure adventure. The flaws, not perfect, but close. The game's not perfect. Act 1 is still the strongest, with Act 3 occasionally feeling like it's trying to juggle too many plot threads. Some cutscenes have that awkward CRPG jank where characters stare into the void or clip through each other like they're auditioning for a glitch montage. If you hate turn-based combat, you might struggle, and wrapping your head around D&D's mechanics requires some reading. Think light novel levels of commitment, not tweet. But these are minor gripes in a game this ambitious. The focus on smaller, denser locations gives it an almost immersive sim vibe where it feels like you can do anything. And it's not just marketing hype, the game bends over backward to accommodate your choices, even the dumb ones. Screw up a quest? There's usually a way to recover. Punch the wrong NPC? The game's got dialogue for that. It's exhausting, exhilarating, and unlike anything else out there. A love letter to player freedom. At its core, Baldur's Gate 3 is a love letter to player freedom. Larian made the game they wanted to make, and it just so happened that millions of people vibed with it. It's their best work yet, a crossover hit that proved CRPGs could be mainstream without losing their soul. If you're one of the holdouts who hasn't played it, there's no better time to jump in. It's probably on sale, it usually is, and with 100+ hours of content and insane replayability, it's a steal. Even if you're late to the party, Patch 8 makes this the definitive version. More ways to play, fewer bugs, and a smoother ride overall. So, that's our before you buy verdict. Baldur's Gate 3 is an all-timer, a game that'll be talked about for years. Pros? Deep gameplay, incredible freedom, and post-launch support that puts most studios to shame. Cons? It can be overwhelming, and the learning curve might scare off casuals. Personal opinion? I'd sell my soul to a devil for another Larian CRPG, but I'd probably regret it when the contract's fine print screws me over. Now it's your turn. Hit the comments and spill the tea. Are you a day one adventurer or a latecomer? How's that Xbox Series S split screen holding up? What's your favorite new subclass, and have you tried the photo mode yet? If you're still playing since early access, tell us your war stories. As always, I'm your host, rolling a charisma check to thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time, unless we're fighting a displacer beast, in which case you're on your own. Peace out, and may your rolls always be natural 20s.